skin and to put our best face forward, as they say. And one thing that can help us achieve that is incorporating acids into our skincare routine.
Yes, and as we were sussing this out, I got very nervous. Because there are so many acids out there. What do they all do? Which one is right for you? Our next guest is here to help. She's a local board-certified dermatologist, Dr. Nana Boache. Hello. It's nice to finally meet you in the flesh.
Yes, absolutely.
And her skin was this beautiful via Zoom.
Literally glowing.
And next to us.
Right.
So before we get into the sussing out which acid is for you, I will go on the record by saying the whole thing scares me. Because I hear acid, I've seen people who have done acid peels.
Right, and acid
I
peels,
go into the
major.
pharmacy and there's 10,000 acids and I'm like, what is happening to me? Because I'm trying to look younger, not older.
You don't need to. You're fine.
Well, fine.
You look like you're 29. It's good.
Talk to us.
But she's 26. But anyway, no.
106.
Yeah,
I say I'm older and then they're more impressed.
There you go. Does work. Trust me. So let's talk about the first batch of acids, so to speak, and it's the alpha hydroxy acids, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So alpha hydroxy acids, they're actually a group of them, and ones that are familiar to you when you're in the aisles are glycolic acid, you have lactic acid, mandelic acid, and they actually all come from plants. As a matter of fact, glycolic acid comes from sugarcane, mandelic acid comes from bitter almonds, and lactic acid comes from sour milk.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound
But
so
we shouldn't
terrible.
go home and put sour milk on our face.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not until it's been processed correctly.
Right.
But and I see a lot of, you'll go into the aisle and you'll take a look at the ingredients. There's a percentage of each in different ones.
Correct.
What should we be looking for? How do we get steered in the right direction?
Absolutely. So let me tell you a little bit about how these acids work.
Yes.
So imagine you apply one of these products onto your skin.
Right.
It actually breaks up the glue in between the skin cells, and then therefore you exfoliate and you get this cell renewal. So some of these acids at a very low percentage, such as lactic acid, can be actually moisturizing.
Right.
And then glycolic acid at higher percentages can help with collagen synthesis.
Okay.
And then it can also help with hyperpigmentation. But always start off low and then kind of ramp yourself up.
And you also, there's the low percentage is the only thing that's available in the
Over the counter.
Over the counter, right.
Yeah,
so
so
if you
you-
want a higher percentage, we have to go see you.
For sure.
Go to
But
the
you know,
pro.
there's also Amazon. So you got to be careful about the Amazon purchases.
Yes.
Really?
Speak to your dermatologist
Yes,
first.
before you do
Don't
something
try
like
to
that.
do all this crazy. Okay, so we've sussed that
Next
out.
up,
Beta hydroxy acids, or BHAs, how are they different?
Yeah, so beta hydroxy acid, we're talking about salicylic acid. And salicylic acid you find from the willow bark tree. It actually comes in a very low percentage, around like 2%, or maybe you could get like 0.1% over the counter, and it gets into the sebaceous glands. It actually helps with acne, and it also helps with exfoliation. So if you have someone who tends to be acne-like, that's the best one to use.
Okay.
yeah, I did hear about that. I know when I was going through puberty in my teens, that had come up as a possible treatment, and that's still pretty much the way to go.
It is.
Yeah.
So we have
My new favorite. This is my new favorite.
Now this is azelaic acid.
Look at you.
Azelaic acid.
Azelaic acid.
I have adult acne, and I went to my dermatologist, and he said, this is what we're going to use. And I immediately said, there isn't a chance in hell. And he did walk me through it, and he said, you're going to put all your other stuff on first, my 17 serums and eye creams and lotions.
stop.
And this is what I put on last, and it's just a little dab. It's 15% because I looked in the drugstore and you can only get like 5 or 10%.
Correct, yeah. A lot of formulations actually formulate with azelaic acid because it actually has quite a few, it has a great profile. It can be anti-inflammatory, so it's great for rosacea patients. It's also antibacterial, so great for acne patients, but it also helps with pigmentation. So that can help with post-inflammatory erythema, which is redness, or hyperpigmentation.
Yeah, I sometimes get these like darker patches that will, especially in the summer, because I'm probably not protecting myself correctly. So this is the type of thing that would treat something like that?
Absolutely. So you mentioned you have 15%, which
Yes.
is prescription strength, and then over the counter you can get like 4% and so forth.
Before we get to the next one, and by the way, I'm same thing with the dark spots because we grew up, I didn't use SPF when I was a kid. Are you crazy? I didn't start using it really until my 30s.
We're not educated enough on it.
No, we were
really
not,
weren't,
which is
no.
why we have people like you. But if you're someone who is, say, in your 30s, and you go to the drugstore and you're reading all the magazines, you're looking on your Instagram feed, and you see all these buzzwords, should you, buy something over the counter? If so, what? Because they make it so easy for consumers. They really do.
Or tempting.
You know, but the thing is, if you start to buy all of these products over the counter, one, you start to have this huge potpourri of products at home.
Right.
And then some of them can interact and cause a lot of irritation and stinging and burning.
Yeah.
Remember, these are acids.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So you have to be very careful. And being melanated, you know, you can get more hyperpigmentation. And that hyperpigmentation can take a lot longer to go away.
Right.
Right.
So I always say, yes, dermatologists, they tend to be a little bit expensive, but it's always good to get the education first, and then they can give you a roadmap as to what to use and to address the problems that you need to address.
Right.
And we always hear about Retin-A. What about retinoic acid?
Yeah, for sure. Retinoic acid comes from vitamin A. You can get retinols over the counter. Retinoids are prescription strength. They also help with cell turnover. They help build the epidermal barrier. They're great, but they can also be very irritating.
Yeah.
So start off very slowly, like once a week. Moisturize, 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 and don't mix your AHAs with retinoids.
You got that?
Bad.
No?
All right, just tell me what you use. Because I just want.
Mother Nature.
She was born like that.
Well, you know what it is? I always say I'm really all about lifestyle dermatology, and one of the key things is just to make sure you're ingesting lots of fruits and vegetables, make sure you sleep, make sure you exercise.
Start
and
with the
then-
basics.
Start with the basics, and then you could go ahead and use these amazing ingredients.
Yes.
Dr. Barwich, thanks so much.
Of
Great
course. Thank you
information.
for having
Really
me.
Such a
appreciate it.
fountain of information.